guys, how are you today? I hope you guys are doing well. I had the pleasure of experiencing a Hummer, the H2. Yes, I had the pleasure of experiencing. You know, that's not something that happens every day. Some of you guys in your lineages, no one has ever driven a Hummer. Me, I drove it. Yes, and I only put 50,000 fuel. How are you? I hope you guys are doing well today. Welcome to the weekly roundup. Today is 5th April 2025. Welcome. I just thought we should talk about some of the things that happened in March and April over the years, yeah, so that we understand the history of cars. I love cars. Me, I would sleep in my car. Senga tebali ya family bino senga nyina kivani kyange ngobuli bwange buli omu ngatade mobile toilet nga nyina mwakanabiro kange ngansuro. And remember I told you my project car is going in that direction, yeah? And of course, as we begin, I want us to talk about some of these things that have been happening in the world over the years in the car industry. 1923. In 1923, Firestone Tire and Rubber Company started making the balloon tires. Yes, they started making them in 1923, and that marked a very, very important development in the tire development and tire making industry. Kakaten Firestone, mukumanyombira Firestone kachacha mujikiro bulango on CBS. Jump. If you're feeling good. And of course, there's something called the Geneva International Motor Show. Yatandika in March 1905, yes, and it stayed very long. And of course, as of March 2024, bali bamazo kujijjawo nga teacher agenda maso. But you know, for something to survive since 1905 up to 2024, and of course the reason why they closed it was because loss of interest, economic times, and all those things. But I totally want to think that why some of these things that have survived for long eventually die out is because the philosophies that worked between 1905 and 1990 probably don't work in 2025. We have a shift in generations, and yet the administrations are still stuck to the old ways of doing things. But well, the Geneva International Motor Show started in 1905, and of course on March 9th, Ford revealed the first Ford Mustang. Before they revealed, they gave it to the dealers to start selling it. They brought the first Ford Mustang. Baragate Financial Mustang. Show them. It was revealed in 1964, March. And then of course, the first ever Formula One World Championship race happened on April 13th, 1950. Do you know that we don't even know the people that were behind these things, yeah? It was held at Silverstone, and then that started Formula One racing. For the guys that don't know Formula One, but again, Formula One we find show them. Yes, so the first Formula One World Championship happened in 1950, April 13th. And of course, still in April, but on April 3rd, 1950, Toyota Motor Sales Company was founded. Ani alibadachi bagamba chino nange njiga chige. 3rd April 1950, that's when Toyota Motor Sales Company was established. It's a sales wing of Toyota, and right now we all know Toyota, right? But we don't know when it started. 1950. My mother was not yet born. My grandmother was she born? She wasn't born. My grandmother was not born. My grandfather was not born. My mother was not born. I was also not born. And that's when Toyota was established. And Toyota has gone on to be one of the leading motor manufacturing and sales companies. So that's a bit of history. Now, let's go to our news. After that, I'll take you to my place where we... Remember how we last did our weekly roundup on 29th? Well, that very day, there are some officials that were coming from Kenya. They were along Moroto Napak Road. Bali was there on official visit. We don't know what they had come to do. But you know, probably they exchanged the Uganda. Even Ugandan officials go and learn from Kenya. So they were traveling in a Toyota Hilux, 4 people. And their Hilux veered off the road and crashed. And all the 4 people died. It's a very sad thing. But the Kenyan government is offering support. and as they look for their family members. It's really sad to find people that have come to either learn from us or teach us something dying on foreign soil. I find that one of the biggest fear that everyone has is literally like dying, yeah? So we need to pray to God that we don't get to die soon. Okay, we will not die, but it's really sad. Now whatever saga mukuru njagala owangaale naye mwe wamwe muwangaala ne munywa buwalaji musigala muwanga ate tikiriko nti oba onywedde buwalaji wabbere oba walayisi musigala muwanga temumala gafa. But anyway guys, we wish the victims, the deceased people, good rest and in heaven, not in hell obviously, but may they rest in peace and may their families be strengthened by the Lord Jesus Christ. And then of course in Kasubi a taxi survived fire. Now a taxi was in Kasubi manyaka kasere ngitakava kumasiro from the shrine. So it started smoking, and when it started smoking, passengers jumped out. What made it interesting was a woman that jumped out of the window. You know, when women be sitting humbly like this, you think they don't know Jack Chan moves. But when it's time to save their lives, the woman jumped through a window before even the taxi went to a complete stop. And according to eyewitnesses, I was not there. But according to eyewitnesses. But you know, Ugandan, I think if we ever find someone to celebrate, it would be people that save a car from catching fire. All of it. So the driver was very quick. Najiteke bali. Emmoroka nagize bali, and they were able to put the fire out. Now I want to teach us something, including myself, so that even if I ever forget, I'll remember that I told you guys. A diesel vehicle does not catch fire like a petrol vehicle. It's petrol vehicles that burst into flames. Because of the petrol lines, the petrol in the tank, and the petrol in the combustion chamber. But diesel vehicles, tezabika. So never panic when it's a diesel vehicle. Never panic. Emotoka petrol yebwatuka. That's why you see, hey, abasajja bafiri mu bano batulima n'enfuso bazaabya apapa. Like diesel is not highly flammable that it does that. So the next time you're in a taxi and it smokes, don't risk breaking your legs. Don't risk breaking your legs or breaking your back, running out of. You walk out with dignity. Like, walk out with dignity. You can imagine if this woman broke her spinal cord because she's running out of a car that's not even, the car didn't even catch fire. So guys, the next time you're in a diesel car and it smokes, it will even if it catches fire, the fire will go slow. It's in petrol cars where it can burst into flames. And for the guys that saw the TikTok video where a Mark X crashed into a Fuso fighter, the fire was there because of the Mark X, not because of the Fuso. You guys have seen time and again when lorries crash. If a lorry and another lorry crash, there is never a fire, except if the lorry is transporting petrol. So guys, if you're traveling in a diesel vehicle and it smokes, just find a way of disconnecting. You can imagine someone can jump out of a taxi instead of disconnecting the battery. Guys, a diesel car does not catch fire like a petrol car. Yes, it can catch fire. It can burst into flames, but not as fast as a petrol car. Walk out with dignity. You get. Now you can imagine the woman yabuse mudirisa. Katna imirira ngo taxi tekutemu. Does she feel herself like a hero? Ochitegera ine kuva mu mpola obuka mudirisa olonga mutitizi. Ochitegera. Anyway, but that happened in Kasubi. And of course in South Africa, we had multiple accidents that disrupted traffic on multiple roads. But to note, the M7, it's a route, not M7. It's a route in South Africa, it's a road. Ngabula banagamba A10, A5, baina jibaita M7. It's not M7. I also thought it was M7 the first time I read it. South Africa. And then there's also a road called Walter Sisulu Road. Then there's also happened. So one of the most serious crashes took place on the M7 westbound. What bridge into bridge near that bridge when a truck yakonye barriers. You see ebintu byateka mabali nga kukubo ngaliwe ebyuma, sometimes it's concrete, so it crashed into it. They blocking Kuba. They blocked it for several hours. It happens sometimes, even Asia. It happens. A lorry can block the road, and then people were advised to use other roads. And then in a place called Bloemfontein, Bloemfontein, so anyway, multiple vehicles walk Sisulu Road. So there happens, and some people got multiple injuries. But multiple vehicles. Now, I'm going to try and give it my interpretation so that us, the drive cars here in Uganda, will learn. And then, of course, still on the M7, eastbound, 4 heavy trucks collided. So they also brought delays in the traffic. Now, this can happen in Kampala. One of the reasons why it doesn't happen is because those that drive very old cars, those that drive very new cars, they are new cars that have things like park assist, automatic braking, and of course our drivers, kati, begendereza, wakalimu, kakuma, tebanywa nyonjaga, but driver bafabe Kampala. But it doesn't like affect your judgment. It just stops you from sleeping. You get. But in case things like this are to happen, for example, we have seen multiple car collisions along the northern bypass in Nigeria, something that was really dangerous. We saw it along Entebbe Road. We saw it even in Boise. Majority of the time when multiple collisions like this happen, it starts with the person that is on phone. Multiple car collisions, they start with the person that is on phone. On Christmas 2022, I was crashed into by a Mercedes-Benz guy. Yali atamidde nga atali ku simu. N'antomera mu Corolla yange namukadde. Yo namuguza bumper. Saagigula naye yampa sente za bumper. Okisegira. Amanyi sente bazikuwa ku Christmas awo nga batunda bumper tebaliyo. Sente zinengeje. Twazirya ate kati my mechanic came. N'agirawo bampe sente ne muwayo ekizike. Olwo zigenda. Muwaka ekizike. N'angamba naye no bumper atatuva nayo tujja nagigolola. Nechine ekigize tujja kisika nyumga kateza bam we wait for Christmas. Aito ageme kumonga sente za Christmas za bumper zichali. They worked on it and I survived. Na yeye yasasula sente za bumper. But it normally starts with someone that is either drunk or on phone. Whatever you do, guys, as you're driving, esimu jeje ko jiteke eri. Put it even in silence until you get out of the car. Then don't drink and drive. In terms of the lorries, it normally comes with poor maintenance of lorries. But I've also seen of recent, lorry drivers have the habit of actually using. Most of them have torch. Let's say a guy they have very big steerings. It's like the border guys. And you can't even buy a decent phone. You get. So phones are the biggest distractor that we have. Majority of the time when people hit barriers, they have been on phone. Please put your smartphone away. Man, some of you are holding smartphones of 200. What will happen if you buy an expensive phone? So even in South Africa, I'm thinking that happens. Of course, I've never gone to South Africa, but I've been to the airport in Johannesburg, and that's the first time I ate matoke that is not nice. I took South African Airways. It's the first time I ate matoke that wasn't nice. Gatega woma. Then South Africans have brown babes. Then I sat along someone that had married a South African woman. So I sat next to a Ugandan who had married a South African woman. They had a child together. So he would go back. When you go abroad, you cannot manage Ugandan life. But you get used to the other money, You come back to Uganda and it's very little. Or even know the people that are in Uganda can't employ you. They cannot work with you. They think you are bigger than. Sometimes you are, but then they fear working with you. Or they just want to steal from you. But he kept going back to South Africa. But he was telling me, "Kazi iliyobidaba, bina muna yete bina pisa chikuvuma ne chikusensebula chiti nenga byo byali na nete manyifumba matoke." So that's what happened in South Africa. We can learn something as Ugandans, and then we are more careful on the road. And then of course in China, you know Xiaomi? How do you pronounce that word? Xiaomi. On the TV they pronounce it Xiaomi. On the TV. So Xiaomi in China is making self-driving vehicles, yeah? And the self-driving vehicles are good. You sit, you can drive, but you can leave it to drive and take you where you are. It's like the Teslas. But in China on 29th March, still I don't know why this didn't happen the day before. It was waiting for us to finish the news. Still on March 29th, there was a Xiaomi SU7. It crashed. So what happens? It was operating itself in the navigating autopilot, and it misbehaved. So the driver tried to take charge, and at the time it was going 116 kilometers per hour. But then when the driver took charge of the car, kind of reduced the speed to 96 kilometers per hour. But guys, 96 kilometers per hour is also a lot. You get it? So still it crashed, and all the 3 individuals that were in the car died. Yes. It collided with cement pole, and police is still trying to investigate to see what led to this. Why did the car malfunction? Of course, even Xiaomi, the company, is trying to work with them to see. And probably one thing we need to understand is that these tools that we get that are AI controlled or that have software, they are bound to misbehave. Sometimes the code will glitch, power will surge or go down, and it will misbehave. You can see it with ChatGPT. Sometimes ChatGPT gives you very wrong answers confidently. Answer, and then you say, ChatGPT, why are you lying to me? That is not what happened. And you say, oh, now I remember. There's a time it can even give you a correct answer, and it says about ChatGPT you're lying, and it says, oh, and then it gives you the wrong answer. You get it? So when you're seated in a self-driving car, in case I saw there's a Benz that I inspected, and this guy is from Mitiana. It parks itself. I need to go and see that vehicle and review it. I should call him after today, and then I see the self-parking capabilities. That's something I've not really experienced. But the Xiaomi self-driving vehicle, if in China where it's organized, it can crash. Now just imagine in Uganda, the car will be driving, there will be roadworks ahead, there will be no signs, and then the car will be going very fast, and then it will meet these guys at Abakwata flag. Hey, come. So, but anyway, we don't have self-driving cars here yet. At least I've not seen one. But in case we do, and some of you guys that are watching this news are really loaded, you can buy those cars. Never think that it's perfect. It can malfunction at any time. If we get them in Uganda, just a self-driving car does not know mad. It was programmed to drive on Kampala Road. You take it to Masoli. Hey. That's when you will know that nobody can stop ringing. It was not trained to drive in Masoli, in Nansa, Nakabulengwa, Katoke. Those cars were trained to drive on Kampala Road. You have seen this thing with the eyesight technology, Subarus. Iraport hola unegano genda. Osegira. Nera umwana ngayimiriddawo oba nera omuzimu negano genda. We have seen people that say that they disable the eyesight technology because the cars literally can't go in Nakasero because of the multiple people that are crossing the gate. So that's happened in China. And then of course here on the Koboko Yumbe Moyo Road, you know, I've not been to Yumbe, but I know someone that was working in Yumbe and he told me it's really dry there. That's something I know about Yumbe, of course. I've not been to Koboko, I've not been to Moyo. I think I've been to Gulu, I've been to Bale, I've been to Busitema. I've been to Kabale, I've been to Bukunjiri. I've not been to Koboko Yumbe. But there is a road that is being constructed. It's 103.808 kilometers, yeah? And these guys have funding of about 478.67 billion shillings. It's funded by the World Bank. And the Chinese there are complaining. Amafuta bagaba, againo kola, yorugudo. And what is happening is that these people can steal up to 100 liters a day. So the Chinese are saying they need help. Remember, they don't know Uganda. They speak Chinese. They have very bad Uganda. And they are saying that the locals, the guys, the staff, and the locals are conniving and stealing fuel. And so they wrote to the district, and they are saying, guys, and some of the locals that want the road completed, they joined the Chinese and saying, we are going to demonstrate. If you don't work on this, if you don't work on the security, we are going to demonstrate. But also police, the police DPC there said, permission from authorities. I don't know, guys. Is it in order for someone to tell you that for you to demonstrate, demonstration is demonstration? Why do you want to give me permission to demonstrate? It's like you telling your kids, if you don't want to eat food, come and ask for my permission. You get, it doesn't make sense. So the people of Yumbe are saying these guys are stealing fuel that is meant to construct our roads. Police help us and arrest them, or if you cannot help us arrest them, and police is telling them, when will that happen? But of course, I find that it's just easier for the police to provide security, so that this road gets done. If the road is worked on, it's one of the good things that will be happening to them. Someone told me that in Yumbe there, you can drink water. It's hot, it's dry. I don't know if the pockets are dry, but they say it's dry. So anyway, what's happening? You know, in Yumbe, they even have a public relations officer in the police. They do. He's called Ignatius Dragudu. They should write to the district police commander, write a DPC, and the resident district commissioner, RDC, for clearance. As a police, we shall not allow illegal demonstration to take place. So, will an RDC allow for you to go and demonstrate against fuel theft? Of course, these guys, China, they wrote to the district, and their letter was titled "Fuel Theft." And then, of course, in the USA, Elon Musk is feeling the heat. You remember Elon Musk not only endorsed Trump, but he was also given a full ministry. Yes, the DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, and it's the Department of Government Efficiency that disbanded USAID, and a bunch of other things that Elon Musk is working on. And remember, it's the first time in history ever that we see someone who's not the president going to the White House with his child. Which again, like Elon Musk said, is totally free in the White House. Like, you know how they questioned the Ukrainian president, why he came to the White House meeting in a t-shirt. Elon Musk goes there in t-shirts. But the policies that Elon Musk is endorsing are not helping him at all, and all his allies. So what happens when Donald Trump had just taken office? The very rich people had their wealth double. Now, as time has gone on, and Tesla is not being left behind. So Tesla is being affected by Elon Musk's. You know Elon Musk? Tesla has been partly successful because of Elon Musk's charisma, Elon Musk's presence. People think of him as a brilliant man, yeah, a sharp man, a genius, and as that they think all the products he creates are supposed to be genius products. That's why Tesla is having very good success. However, of recent, Trump, it's really affecting him. Not only in the US, even in Canada. In the US, the people that are supporting him are coming head on with the people that are not supporting Trump and him. And that's really affecting Tesla. Their sales are dropping. People even rebadged their vehicles. You see a Cybertruck in the logo of Toyota. A Cybertruck with the logo of Nissan. A Cybertruck with the logo Kia. We have seen it. So it's really it's good bad PR. I mean, it's bad PR for this Tesla CEO. It would have been good as he was going into politics for him to step down, probably never put Tesla, and then probably the administration of Tesla says for the Chakwa and Elon Musk against the core media. Ngabula Bobby Wine we have Firebase. Na abanagirekera ndi kubateri. Na asaraunti nyenze kati ndiwa people power eventually na agenda mu nope na simba na HTP. Aga kati nze ntudde wana amakanda nga sibye wano. Firebase tetumanyi oba ekyali oba teriiyo. Okyegera but periodically he sings. Kati ne Elon Musk yalikoze ekintu kye. Kati watali Bobby Wine, Firebase eriwa. Kuba Firebase mwali Bobby Wine ne Nubian. I miss Bobby Wine's songs, But I also miss Bebe Cool's good songs. I don't know what Bebe Cool is singing these days. I think the last time he did songs was Go Mama, and then I will love you every day, hey, Yakuma, wo. Binebyadako wano nga ayingidde politics. Ye ne muganda we, Kyagula. Ondabona byaga. Naye ati kimanyi kireka aloga industry yafeeyo. Bobby Wine yabivaako. Naye ate Bobby Wine azatukubayaawo ku buntuntu. Bebe Cool n'abivaako. Chameleon n'abivaako. Kadde no longer the big three. Nakyo kiri mukama yamanyi. And of course, in Rome, Roma, Iwava Papa. In Rome, a Tesla dealership was burnt, and 17 vehicles were destroyed, and a building. Nobody was hurt. But you see, guys, the things that we endorse, Bonds have approached me. Some people even want to give me cars. Mbarangi. Me. I go slow. Elon Musk endorsed Trump, stayed with Trump throughout it all, but it's affecting him. Kat Roma. Bali abantu abaroma nali manyi batanyo katonda tebono na kintu kyonna, but they someone burnt the dealership down, and nobody was definitely there. And I've seen even in Canada it happened. Some US places in the US also it happened. You need to be very careful what you endorse, especially when you become a public figure or someone that is known a little bit. You need to be very careful what you endorse, because onokubanga okoze analysis, no matter if I go this direction, what are the benefits? If I go this direction, what are the losses? And I think Elon Musk is getting more losses than benefits. Yeah, but anyway, I wish him luck with whatever he's doing. Roma we watch it into the Mande Papa why. You kid a papa from Nyata and Yoku. Papa Badwa Katonda. Never took Kiro, Chachita and overtime to Chilava. So in Western Australia, the police there seized a Maserati. You know what a Maserati is? Show them what a Maserati is. They seized that car because the owner of that car continuously drove recklessly. Continuously drove recklessly. And after they got him continuously, they took him to court and asked the judge, we should take this car. And the judge told the police, take the car. So now, the police has branded the car in police branding, and they are using it to spread awareness on road safety. You just imagine Subaru Zabana one. You have continuously violated rules. They are taking you to court. They take you to court. They don't even arrest you. But they say a Subaru for the state to what the police. It should come. You know how many Subarus will be taken? Do you know how many Subarus will be taken? Yeah. So anyway, but that's what happened. Baji brand is now they're using it for awareness. Maintaining, but that's what happened. IGP. IGP wa Uganda. But you guys don't know. So the IGP of Uganda found Abbas Byakagaba. And those ochiwulide tutandika okuwamba ku mamotoka. Tugawambe nga tugwa ku mwana nga avuga ka. There are these boys that drive buno motoka bu Alex nakavuga nga it's a sport car. Vitz RS tukawambe tukawe gundi police ye gundi. Wano makerere chivulu. Like tukawadde motoka ya police yiyo. Tandiko ziwamba. Ate I'm sure the court will give us those other court gives you things that tutandiko kuwambe motoka. And in Florida, a 67-year-old woman was sentenced to 5 years in prison for leaving her 7-month-old granddaughter in the car where she died. 5 years. Judges have no chills. Like the kid was 7 months. Okay, look the woman up for 7 months has been double the period to 14 months or that's about 2 years, yeah? But she was locked up for 5 years. She was locked up for she was found guilty of leaving a child unattended in a vehicle for more than 15 minutes. And you know the reason why the court is not feeling bad for her? It's because this is the second grandchild to die under her care. She's just reckless. Now I understand. So the other child was for 2.5 years. Even this one is for 2.5 years. But I find that they should have taken her for evaluation to see if the brain works properly, the head, before they sentenced her. Probably she needs to just go to a mental facility, not prison. But that's why they locked her up. Yagamba, you're continuously being reckless with children. You know, there are things that you think about, it cannot be an accident. It cannot be a coincidence. Anyway, that's what happened there. You know how in the UK, the government is banning by 2030 all internal combustion engines over all cars that are using either petrol or diesel. Now, they had also said to ban hybrid cars so that people shift directly to EV or electronic vehicles. Now, people are saying the government should wait a little bit, maybe just leave the hybrids there, because it's not easy to shift to electric cars all totally. And the government is actually putting it on the table now to say maybe we should leave the hybrid vehicles up to at least 2034. Yeah, but you know, that's a bold move. You know what that means for us as Ugandans? Remember, we drive on the right hand side like the UK guys. So if the UK government bans petrol and diesel engines, where are they going to sell those cars? To us, Nigerians, South Africans, and the South Africans make their own cars. So there are how many countries are remaining that drive on the right that don't make their own cars? Of course, Uganda will be a very good dumping site. So we will get some newer cars. For us, they will be new. Because if they ban cars, like you cannot buy a car that uses petrol or diesel, and people want to upgrade, they have to upgrade to electronic vehicles or hybrid vehicles. So they will start now the shipping is the problem and the taxation. Remember, the president Aliako said but that is what is happening. It might actually shift. The UK wanted to shift to entirely electric vehicles, but it might actually shift, and they keep the hybrids around up to around 2034. But it's not conclusive. It's still something that the shift is too fast. So the UK Prime Minister Bamisa Keir Starmer, how is this name? The UK Prime Minister. You know, they even had an Indian Prime Minister. You remember? So I find that UK is one of those countries that is really, really, really democratic. So, but the Prime Minister is relaxing, yeah. The UK's planned 2030 ban on some hybrid vehicles. You know, they are banning, either way they are banning some of the hybrid vehicles that have high emission. So at the end of 2024, the government proposed new laws that at their most extreme, they would limit per car, the carbon emissions would be 115 grams per kilometers. 115 grams per kilometer. They have a way they measure it. So if it goes beyond 115 grams per kilometer, it's very dangerous. Some scrap here, Uganda. So we don't even know our emissions here in Uganda. For as long as take over chika, I have petrol. Yeah, diesel never could be chika, never government to support them. But that's what happened in the UK. And in this week's comparison, I want us to compare the Toyota Fielder 2010 and the Toyota Passo 2010. Now, these cars are, I'm comparing them because multiple times people have asked me to compare them, not only on TikTok but also on YouTube. Now, these cars, the price range is quite different. The 2010 Fielder will be about 34 to 39 depending on where you're buying it. And the Passo will go for between 27 up to around 33 depending on where you're buying it, which trim, which grade they imported, and the condition of the car. Now, these cars, what is different about them? The Passo has a seating capacity of 6 passengers and 1 driver, while the Toyota Fielder has a seating capacity of 4 passengers and 1 driver. But if you shift the rear seat of the Passo, you get almost the same boot space as the Fielder. Head space, the Fielder will give you more head space. Yeah. In terms of durability, both these cars so far have proven to be durable, because as of last year, people were buying 2010 Passo, people were buying 2010 Toyota Fielders. Yeah. They are both proved to be very, very, very reliable. In terms of what faults you can get, if you try to fix or service the gearbox of the Toyota Fielder, which most owners want to do because they love their cars more than the people that buy Passo Setes. Let me just make this clear. Majority of the people that have bought the Passo Sete bought it because it's what they could afford. The people that bought the Toyota Fielder bought it because it's what they wanted and could afford. So if someone wanted the Toyota Fielder and they could not afford it, one of the options they will think about would be a Passo Sete. And among all the options they will think about, the Passo Sete would be one of the cheapest ones. So you see the difference. Now, seating capacity, Passo Sete definitely wins. Engine power, I still stick to my guns that the Fielder will beat the Passo Sete hands down. The Passo Sete has a 1.5 liter 3SZ engine, yet the Toyota Fielder will come with a 1.5 liter 1NZ engine, which is a CVT. The Passo Sete will come with an automatic gearbox. Now, which one would I choose and why? I would definitely choose the Fielder. One reason why people keep choosing the Fielder is because the resale value of the Fielder is good. Drive your car the right way. We had an incident where we inspected the car, bought it, and the person that was driving it as they headed home drove it in gear 2. He started with gear 3, it's an automatic. So he drove it in gear 3, and when he approached the hill, he gave it gear 2 and drove in gear 2 prolongedly on a hill, and that led to the car overheating. Guys, if you're driving an automatic car or a CVT, the only mode that you're supposed to drive in under normal circumstances is D, or drive. That's the only mode you're supposed to drive in. These other gears that they give you, S, B, 1, 2, 3, those gears apply for special circumstances. Like you're in a slippery road, you're going up a hill, that's the only time you're supposed to apply those other gears. You don't drive on a highway and you drive in gear 3, 2, or 1, even when they are there. It's an automatic car. It's meant to put the gears there itself. You see, even when you're driving a manual car, you cannot drive it in gear 2. You get, when you're on a highway, you'll have to put it in gear 5 and then go, or leave it in 3 and then go. Guys, please drive your cars the right way. Don't try to show power. Don't try to feel power. Your car has a driving mode. If you want to drive a car manually, buy one that has auto manual mode, or buy a manual car, and then you enjoy it that way. If you drive your car in one gear, the consequences might actually be dire for you. Thank you very much for being part of this week's episode of the Car Weekly Roundup. Hey, every Saturday we publish the Car Weekly Roundup for us to understand which are the gains and mass. So we start to get there, and then we give them to you here. Don't forget, August 30th, we have the Love for Cars Convention. Yes, only 200 people. We have only 200 tickets that you guys will be able to buy. Come and attend the event and network and meet me, meet other car lovers. And there, to Ige, we are going to have a specialist in diesel. Teach us how to take care of our diesel and not visit the mechanic that often. We're going to have a petrol car mechanic and a specialist. We're going to have a European vehicle specialist. We're going to have a specialist in fixing trucks. Lorry, European vehicles, there's a petrol, there's a diesel. We're going to have those people there. We are going to have exhibitions. Some people are going to be there to show us their products. The guys that program ECUs. Our modification, they're going to be there, and we will see what they're able to do. We're going to have a gaming corner. The games where you sit in the car, we are going to be there. August 30th, guys, it's going to be a Saturday. Then it will be communicated. Only 200 people, be one of the 200 people to be there. May the good Lord bless you. Have a good weekend. Don't drink and drive. May the good Lord bless you. Ciao.